Let's put our phones down for a minute. Tough? You know, this course that we're going to talk about is an online course. You're going to be talking about this course, you're going to be a part of this course, you're going to have it on your phones. Those two guys at the back just don't want to listen. Yeah. I got my people all around. Anybody with a phone in their hands, you're allowed to keep it in your handbags, you're allowed to keep it in your back pocket. I see you. I see you. We're going to play this game. Anybody who has a phone in their hand, the one next to it is going to scream, donkey. Let's try doing that. Do you spot any donkeys in the audience? Except the ones who are actually here to record things, and we would like to welcome that them as well. That is the media, of course. Thank you very much for being here. That phone rule and the camera rule is only for the students. How many students are here? Okay, great. So what do students do when they're sitting and going to be, what are you, 5 minutes away from seeing your all-time hero? 5 minutes away? What do? You pay attention. How do we pay attention? By putting our phones down. So is that a deal? We're going to have our phone. Oh, I see her. Having fun. I like this game a lot. Yeah. Anyway, guys, I have to say a very, very warm welcome. I'm really excited to be here this evening. We're going to have a lot of fun. More importantly, we're going to get to learn a lot of things while we're having a lot of fun. Clearly, as you can see, that we're here. We're going to be talking about this brand new course that is going to be started by INIFD and LSD. It's called Learn from Manish Malhotra. Excited? Yes. About which part? That it's online. Are we excited about that? Or are we excited that it's only 52 weeks and you end up becoming fashion designers? Or are we excited that all you need to pay is 10,000 bucks and that's it? You could be a Manish Malhotra in the making. Are you excited about that? Yes. Okay, great. I'm also very, very excited about one more thing. It's the fact that right now I'm going to, before we go ahead, I mean, of course, I'm going to keep spilling details about the course. We're going to be in conversation with the fabulous Manish Malhotra. But before that, I have to welcome someone very, very wonderful on stage. She is... Yes, but we have to describe her in many ways before she comes on stage. She's talented, she's an actress, she's a dancer, she's sultry and she's gorgeous and she redefines everything, like everything. Nobody, like, I wish see, people are falling backstage. The minute you say Malaika, people fall front of stage, people fall backstage. I mean, I can go on introducing her. Most importantly, she's a Wonder Woman and a very dear friend of mine. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Malaika Arora. Welcome, Malaika.
Hi, Neha.
You look like $1 million.
You look like $1 trillion.
Oh my God! We're going to play this game for what, 6 minutes, right?
We can go on, right? All night. You look fantastic. I look fabulous.
You look beautiful.
You look stunning.
Your eyes are so deep.
Your hair color is just unreal.
Your hair is wonderful. Wait, most importantly,
can do this all night, let me tell you.
Your outfit is amazing.
Oh my God, what are you wearing? It's fantastic.
It is a Manish Malhotra.
There you go. Come on, let's learn from Manish, everybody. Wow, this is a full house, right?
It really is a full house. And we were playing a game right before you came in. We'll get you well versed with the game. But yes, you're allowed to use your phones for a minute as soon as your favorite person walks in on stage. After that, we go back to playing the game.
I didn't see the phones. Where are the phones? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Phones go up. Everybody. Okay, phones down now.
Yeah, phones down now. Yeah. We want you to pay attention. We want you to learn everything. This is where the course begins. Speaking of the course, Malaika,
But first, Neha, is it true?
It is. What?
Oh my God, it is true. Guys,
yes,
it is true.
It is true that you can become a fashion designer in 10,000 bucks.
And it's an online course.
Yes.
Unbelievable. You get to do all of this online. You learn from the man himself, learn from Manish Malhotra. What more could you ask for? At 10,000 bucks for 52 weeks?
Yes. And even before you enroll, what more can you ask for? That you have Malaika Arora right in front of you. Does it get better than that? Yes.
That's not an online course. Just want to tell you that.
Yeah.
That's right now, right here, in person.
Yeah,
Okay?
that's not even an application you can download. No. So yeah, respect. Phones down, guys. Okay, they're not going to listen. It's fine. But, more importantly, Malaika, you know a little bit about the course. We're in due course, we will get to know about the course.
There's a lot of course happening.
Yes. Okay, let's put an end to it there because there's a third one I can think of and we're not going to talk about that one.
Let's have our minds focused right now on the course that we're here for, right?
Yes. When you heard about it the first time, what was your reaction?
My reaction was, wow. And I think that's the most basic, most real, most genuine reaction. I was completely, blown away by the fact that you actually have these opportunities. I remember back then we didn't even have these opportunities, Neha, where you could actually, enroll online for something so economical and to learn from the best. That doesn't quite happen very easily. Let me tell you, you guys are really, really blessed to have this, don't you think? Yes. Don't you think? That's a very feeble yes. Let me tell you, if you're going to be like this, Manish is going to be really, really upset. He likes to see a little energy and vibe and fun, and isn't that what it's all about? Should we shake you up a bit?
No, I think what it is that the minute you go back to watching everything on your phone, I think a lot of them are just thinking कि घर जाके phone पर देख लेंगे ना सब कुछ जितना record किया है और जितना miss हुआ है जिसकी battery हो गई खत्म तो दूसरी ओर से उसको बोल देंगे WhatsApp कर देना वो video. Well, we're going to leave you to that. You're lost entirely, but we're still very happy to be here and being in conversation with you. Here's the thing. Speaking of videos, before we go any further, we have a short AV for all of you, which is a little bit that you're going to get to know about. Learn from Manish Malhotra.
Absolutely.
Let's
Watch,
take a look.
Listen, learn. We'll be asking questions.
Costume styling, entrepreneurship, of course, social media influencer, and he's revived almost everything that you thought in the fashion world couldn't be revived.
He did start his career as a model. Can you believe that? While studying at the Elphinstone College in Mumbai, but his love for sketching, passion for cinema, and penchant for clothes saw him veer towards costume styling. From his work with Hindi cinema, influential leading ladies, to launching his very own label in 2005, he tells design stories in a language like no one else, with elegance, ultra-femininity, and an unapologetic glamour.
His first international project involved designing a custom-made traditional outfit for Michael Jackson during the King of Pop's visit to India in the late 1990s.
Besides all the amazing women that you see on our screen, he has also styled Jean-Claude Van Damme, Reese Witherspoon in Mira Nair's Vanity Fair, Kylie Minogue, Jermaine Jackson, and his wife Halima Jackson. He has also designed the wedding outfits for the Princess of Riyadh.
He's brought his amazing aesthetic sense to costume design and styling for country's leading actors and style icons, and he's achieved all this without, I repeat, without any formal fashion education.
He is truly the perfect mentor with an unparalleled sense of all things fashion and style.
Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only,
the guru, the maestro himself. Please put your hands together for Manish Malhotra!
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the masterclass.
Manish,
These two beautiful women here in ivory, and aren't they glamorous and stunning?
And you wonder why?
More
You wonder why? Okay, one sec. Everybody gets your 5 seconds of camera time. Sorry.
yes, 5 seconds of
Your time starts now.
They want 5
right
seconds
here.
of camera time.
Your camera
and
time.
after that, we have a deal, right? This is the part of the course. The only time you can pick up the phones is when you're actually online or studying the course. But when you're listening to Manish, you got to keep those phones down. Remember? Okay, take your 5 seconds now.
I like the sound of the camera. That sounded good.
Yes, thank you everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, to the media. Manish, please take
The
a
hot seat is mine.
Yes,
The
that's
center
yours.
hot seat is yours.
Mala.
We shall flank
I'm going to
you.
feel very fat sitting in the center, but it's okay. I'm going to cover myself with this cushion.
Manish is feeling fat, believe me.
I mean, look at Malaika. Where all of us feel fat, Neha.
No, he is working out twice a day.
These days.
These days. I don't know what you're talking about being overweight. You're looking just fine.
I spoke so much in these classes that I had to now, and the next course is yet left, and I yet have to shoot for them. So I had to lose some weight to get that energy to speak of all those experiences of 28 years.
How does it feel to see a full house for you, Manish?
It feels great. So thank you, everyone, and it's going to be an enjoyable evening.
So here's the thing, we're going to be asking Manish a whole bunch of questions about design. Malaika and me are going to be discussing fashion and style, so is Manish. At some point, we will be opening, it to the audience as well. We will be taking about 4 to 5 questions. So feel free to pay attention and keep your questions ready. We will be taking very few questions to make them count. And Manish, should we start from the beginning?
Should we start from the beginning? Yes.
Yeah, so Manish, of course, there was a huge emphasis that I made in my introduction, and I get blown away by it every time, that you had no formal education, and at the same time, if I know you well enough, almost everything inspires you. When you put pen to paper, where does it start? What are your thoughts? How do you gather them? Tell us from the beginning.
Well, I think I grab inspiration from life, from people, from what I see, from flowers to nature, to people speaking, to their sense of style, to everything that I see. My entire childhood has been in a film theatre. I think I've watched films so wide-eyedly, fascinated by cinema, songs, heroines, color, clothes, everything. And I think the one good thing I did, I was not such a good student, but one thing that I did, really saved me, and still till date I love doing, is sketching. So I kind of learned painting and art, and that's something I really enjoyed. And when it came to college, it was modeling. And it's that drawing that really got me interested in clothes. And in the year 1989, when I think most of the people here were not born, and there was no course for men in Mumbai. So I thought, what to do? How do I start my career? What should I do? And that's when I got into costumes. And because I loved films, I love narratives, I love storytelling. And then I loved clothes and sketching. So that's when it all started. And inspiration was in movies from characters. But of course, when I came into movies at that time, I remember asking a producer, what's the script of this film? And he said, how dare you ask me the script? I mean, just make glamorous clothes. Sort of glamorous kapde banaye. And so that's how I kind of started giving looks to people. Like I would say, oh, you're a girl who lives here, so you would wear these kind of clothes. And this is your sense of dressing. Because I feel all of us, like you like ivory so much, and you like black, and you like very solid looks.
Yeah, I like shades.
You like glamour. I like black because it makes me look thinner, I think. So so all of us have a type of likes and dislikes, and the kind of clothes that we like. So that's the look that I would give in every film on my own. And slowly I started meeting directors and producers like Karan Johar, Aditya Chopra, Ram Gopal Verma, and Dharmesh Darshan, so many of them who started including me in their script narrations and telling me about their movies. And that's when I introduced styling in films, and because I was so interested in what's the hair, what's the makeup, what's the bag that you're carrying. So I think sometimes I'm interested beyond what's expected out of me.
That's absolutely amazing. Malaika, I'm gonna...
No, that's really in depth. I think you look at him, you can actually hear the passion when the man talks. You know, he's not just talking anything off his head. You can see it, you can feel it, you can actually sense it, which is what is really truly amazing about you. What I want to ask you is, there are loads of schools, fashion schools over the years that have come, that have gone, that have stuck around. Lots of kids that have graduated become professionals. What's so different about Learn from Manish Malhotra?
Well, Learn from Manish Malhotra is not just a lecture, or I'm not turning professor. I think what I'm using this opportunity to reach out to all those youngsters who probably are confused or probably cannot make up their mind on their career, because today on their careers in fashion or style, because there's so much to do today. There's fashion merchandising, there's business of fashion, there's red carpet styling, there's fashion styling, there's couture, there's spread diffusion. There's a lot today than there was when we started. Airport styling, so much. So I think that by speaking about my experiences and speaking about my journey of 28 years in the movies, and I still am working in the films, and in fact now working the third generation of actors, and also from fashion, being on the board of fashion weeks and doing so many shows across the world, I thought it was really nice way for me to reach all those people out there and speak to them, and they can imbibe a little bit from my conversations. I feel really good. So I'm very thankful to London School of Trends and INIFD to come to me with this project, and I love reaching out to the young mind because they have so much to do, and you guys are the hope, and I hope that some of you all imbibe from this course and do a lot more with your life that you are right now thinking about what to do.
Be the next Manish Malhotra.
Or more,
yes,
much more. I don't know,
right?
But there's been Manish Malhotra, but I think much beyond.
Yeah, but it's very magnanimous of you to let that happen and much more. And I feel that a lot of you need to understand that it also comes from a really large-hearted place, because a lot of what ends up happening, and I'm going to get to this point a little later on as well with you, is that a lot of designers don't like to share their craft, and with INIFD and with LST coming together and making this special course that's called Learn from Manish Malhotra, A is the fact that it's so short, within 52 weeks is when it happens. B, it only costs 10,000 rupees, which is you're being generous enough and open enough to it doesn't matter your socioeconomic reasons, or they cannot be the reasons to hold you back from learning.
And because for me it was, sorry I'm interrupting you, but because for me it was very important that we reach out to as many people as we can. So I didn't want this course to be expensive, or I didn't want it to be something that, oh my God, very few or niche, very few people can connect to it. I wanted to connect to as many people it can.
Did you ever fear sharing your craft, Manish? Because you do know that once it goes online and everybody gets, at some point when they were making this little course, which was, formulated around your name, did that ever come to your head that, oh my God, if I give away all my trade secrets, so to say, as harsh as it may sound, do you want to hold on to something, or you're willing to share everything that you know?
Well, I'm willing to share everything because I feel that in a creative field, craft changes. Your way of looking at things should change. Keeping that whole, keeping your being, keeping yourself being and your belief, but yet it has to constantly change. Fashion changes every season. And I think that for me, I'm a learner. Even today, I'm torn between the love of movies, and I can never stop designing for films, and the business the label that I have. But I think for me, it's really important to be learning. I'm nervous backstage before every fashion show of mine. I don't take a single day and my work for granted. I wake up really early to cope up with all that work, and I'm on the head of all my assistants. Have you done this? Have you done that? So I think the biggest thing that I'm constantly speaking about in this conversation that I'm having, the masterclass, is to focus. Because I feel there's so much today, there's so much information out there for all of you all, and there's social media, there's internet, there's so much going on, that in this time it's very, very important to discover yourself, one, and stick by that and focus on what you're meant to do.
Well, I want to come back to something that that you said, that you've so much going on. You've got your label, you've got you're on the board of a million things. You're here, there, you're styling for films. You've got your own personal life. You travel, you do shows. There are a million things that this man does. I mean, sometimes it's difficult to kind of keep track or to keep up with it. Do you really think you will have that kind of time and dedication and all of that for our kids out here? How are you going to find that time for them?
Well, to be really honest, it's not possible for me to kind of, interact every day with somebody, and it's not possible for me to go to to one of the INIFD centers, every single day, and because I have so much going on. So I thought this was the best way to do our first series, and we are touching every aspect from theatre design, because I designed for Mughal Azam, and we made 550 costumes.
Unbelievable, man.
Applause, guys.
So it was crazy.
And if you haven't seen that, you have to see it purely for the styling.
And I didn't even think that, oh my God, it's going to take so much of my time. And it was something that really I learned from. And from doing movies and fashion shows and putting a collection together. So these are the aspects and the journey that I'm constantly talking about in this masterclass. And I just hope that people can use that information or hear me out and use that in their life. And I think that would really be helpful.
So we have 24 hours in our day. I don't know how many hours in your day, because sometimes it seems practically impossible how he manages to juggle all of that and more and come out completely trumps in everything.
I think the problem that I have is I'm very commitment prone. If I commit to something, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes probably I don't do a good job, sometimes I do a good job. But I definitely put in my 200% in it. So that's what it is.
And that's something that a lot of people should take note of, that it goes beyond the course. After the course, what? You're going to become designers, you're going to get certified, you're going to have amazing institutes like LST, INIFD, you're going to have a great name like Manish Malhotra, micromanaging or backing your sense of style and aesthetics. But I want to ask you a question, Malaika, and a lot of you should take note to listen, to understand something like this. And I want to ask her because she's current, she's relevant, she's a fashionista, and she'll give you both sides to it. So imagine you have a brand new designer on, say, a Wednesday that you're working with, and on a Thursday you're dealing with Manish Malhotra and wearing an outfit that he's designed. So clearly, between a newcomer and Manish, you won't have any tips for you. You'll be listening to. When you have a brand new designer that walks into a green room, who comes with a recommendation, what are your fears that you have in your head as a celebrity? Because it could go any way, right?
Firstly, I think it's never too old to learn. So whether you're a new designer, you're a veteran, you're a legend, whatever, you're never too old to learn.
I absolutely agree.
You always should be open to ideas, to criticism, to imbibing, because I think everybody comes with their own set of ideas, of rules, of stuff going on in your head. So you should be open to everybody. So
that's a very important point.
So whether it's a new designer or whether if I'm working with Manish, I think the idea is to be able to be on the same wavelength. I think that's what's most important. And I think I would entertain new or old with just the same enthusiasm, just the same openness. I would never ever feel that somebody's old or somebody's not.
For me, actually, I have a rule in my office. Like I tell all my assistants, I'm not looking for yes men. Whatever I do is not necessarily great, good. It could be bad, it could be awful, it could be whatever. Speak to me. Tell me what's working. Tell me what's not working. And I've never, I think, approached an actress or a movie or a bride by saying that I've been in the business, I know what I'm saying. Maybe my nature helps me that I'm so wanting to know what do you think about it. Listening to even say, sometimes my manager comes up with some suggestion which I really like. And I look at my assistant and say, he's saying something more than you're saying because he's listening to what I'm saying. So a suggestion can come from anywhere, and if that makes sense to you, you should go ahead with it. So you're always a learner.
Absolutely. And so the points that we take back after a small discussion or a question that I threw at Malaika is, one is that you're never too old to learn, which also means you're never too young to learn. And I would like to even address that. And the second thing is that you need to speak up, because you could be really, really talented, but if you walk into a room and any situation could intimidate you, if it's your first day or your second day at work, and even if I were to walk into a room and I'm a fan of somebody, you could get intimidated. But these are the little things that if you know the craft and you own the craft and if you studied it, you should definitely make sure that you go out there and you voice what you think is right, which may not necessarily be right, but there's no harm in it.
I think the most important thing is watch and learn. I think that's the most basic thing in life, and I think we all tend to take that for granted because somewhere we all feel that, we know it, we've been in the business long enough. Watch and learn. Trust me, it'll only enhance your thought process and as a person.
That's what I'm hoping from this course, that I'm hoping that all these conversations and the experiences that I share with everybody, and they could think that, this is what I was thinking, this is what I was confused about, and they kind of get that confidence with my conversations with over the weeks, and that's exactly because each one of us has a bad day, has a absolutely blocked day in terms of inspiration or design. Every day is not Sunday, as you say, but it's just that you get up and you do what you're committed to, and you start looking, because you've got to deliver that outfit, so you start looking for inspiration, and you suddenly realize that book in front of you could be inspiring, or what you thought of or you saw a night before could be inspiring. So pushing yourself consistently and constantly is what is most important.
Those are great words, Manish. And then, of course, when you say Manish Malhotra, when you think Manish Malhotra, of course you think Bollywood and you think cinema. But the other thing that you think of is bridal wear. Now, where does and when you're dressing a bride and it's her day, or the most important day in her life, I've seen you, and this is a first-hand experience. I've been in a store where he's entertaining 7 to 8 brides literally at the same time, and all of them, there's mayhem, because all 8 of them want different things and a different shade. And it's attention and a different shade of pink. I don't even know if there are like 8 different shades of pink, but Manish is there, with your mind and, wholeheartedly, you're paying attention. What does the word bridal wear mean to you? Does it excite you, or you're like, oh my God, there's going to be another bride and I need to make her happy? Is there pressure? Tell us about the pressure. This is what they should know.
I like opulence, I like grandeur, I like all of it, but I think the bride today is changing. I mean, today's young girl knows exactly what she wants, which designer she wants to go for, which event. The earlier brides who came, they came with their mother and their in-laws and their families, but today's bride, even if she comes with a mother or mother-in-law, they're just sitting quiet because she knows exactly what she wants, from the boy that she's marrying to the outfit that she wants. She knows it. And today's girls, I think, know so much. So here is to all you girls out there. You all are fantastic, and you just know it. And I think the bride's changed, and she's more experimental, and she was a traditional one day, and the other day she wants to wear something which is very, very modern and glamorous. And there's a lot of inspiration by you girls, actually. Seeing all you actors on red carpet and being the style divas that you all are, I think they're very inspired. So you have one day of like a gown, and the other day of a Western glamorous dress, and then you suddenly have a traditional day. So today's bride is doing 5 to 6 different changes, and that's exactly what we're speaking about in our course as well. We're speaking about brides, and we're speaking about bridegrooms and different styling and how to start that look, and how to start from a bridal collection to an independent and individual bride, on what she should think and what she should look like.
Well, talking about pressure, have you ever faced pressure from your home front? Because I'm sure this is something everybody wants to know. I'm sure आपके पापा ने कहा होगा कि बेटा accountant बन लो, या कुछ doctor बन लो, या pilot बन लो. I mean, fashion stylist or a designer. Did you ever have to face any of that?
So my overprotective Punjabi mother, because I was a model, said, ban jao.
No,
that's a given thing, right? So I was like,
Mera beta sabse pyara.
So I said, Mom, I'm squint, my eyes are really small, I can't become a hero. But I was like, I wanted to do designing, and she was like horrified. But I have to give it to my parents, from being that wide-eyed kid, watching a film every time I had a holiday. They never really stopped me. And when I had those 2 tailors in my room with packets and fabric, and I used to sleep in the same room, they were completely taken aback, but they were very supportive. And till date, they remain supportive. And somewhere untouched of what I'm doing, my mother actually asked me the other day, "Sariyan biki?" I was like, "Mom, you're making it sound like as if I take saris to every doorstep and say, please take sari le lijiye." So they're that, I live with my parents, and they're that not, that disconnected with my work, but they are so supportive in terms of emotion and strength. And
so when mom steps out of the house and somebody says, "You Manish Malhotra pen rahe ho?"
Yeah. So she doesn't react to that. She says, "It's just a printed suit. I don't want to wear too much." Or she's like, I couldn't get over that question when she said Sariya Biki. I couldn't get over that. I said, "Mom, I mean,
Who's your mom's favorite designer?
No, my mom's favorite designer is me, of course. You know how it is.
No biases there.
Yeah, but there's no biases there.
There's no discussion.
Yeah. But we constantly, every morning when we have tea together, I have morning tea with my mother, and we always discussing only clothes, by the way.
That's
and
amazing.
From the iconic actresses, like Meena Kumari and Madhubala to Nargis ji, to all their beautiful work. We both love movies, so I think that's why she encouraged me about films.
Well, I'm going to go back to the bridal wear question, and I'd like to share this technical aspect of the bridal wear, and this is how detailed the course is. That even the
guys, isn't that amazing that we're speaking about bridal wear with the new bride? She just got married, so clap for her. Yeah.
She said she's speaking from experience. Yeah.
No. I mean, I had my bridezilla moment as well because I had 48 hours to plan my wedding.
That was the quickest one.
But yeah, it's the quickest decision. I almost treated it like an appearance. Like, you get a call from your manager saying, "Delhi mein appearance hai, kya pehna hai, bridal." And I'm like, okay, fine. And I came in 48 hours.
And it was her event. She was getting married.
Yeah, it was a bit scary, but the decision wasn't. But yeah, getting the whole look together was.
Did you figure out your pinks?
Yes, I always wanted to get married in baby pink, and
very pretty.
I did, thank you, and I did tell my now husband, then boyfriend, that please make sure that you match your pug and your pocket square to the color of my lehenga. And this was one night before. And it's a funny story because my lehenga had to be couriered into Delhi, and there were thunderstorms, and they were like, "Ma'am, we have to shut the store. Your lehenga hasn't arrived." And I'm like, "You do know that I need it tomorrow?" They're like, "Why is it so urgent? Just take it tomorrow morning." And because it was, like they say, such a secret wedding, I was just like, "Yeah, but I have an event at 9 in the morning." And they were like, "But we'll give you something else." I was like, "No, I want to wear that pink lehenga." And I was like in tears. Suddenly, I see a carton coming in, and there's a pink lehenga that comes out of that. So yeah, I did
They look beautiful and they look absolutely stunning. So let's give Neha a huge round of applause. And wish her all the love and happiness.
Thank you. Well, going back to the bridal wear details, and it's very important that everybody hears this because this is how beautifully the course is designed. That in fact, the 9 modules around bridal wear that have been built are women's wear, men's wear, illustration, multi-channel retail, costume design, visual merchandising, styling, and of course, bridal wear. And that's where my next question is going to be, preparation for Fashion Week. You said that you're a bunch of nerves no matter what. It's been years and years of experience, but still you're a bunch of nerves before a fashion show. I've seen it in person as well. But you're very good, and you don't need to be a bunch of nerves. What are your tips when it comes to doing a fashion show? That, okay, these are the 3 main things that you need to look into.
Well, one issue being that our industry now is 30 years old, and the fashion industry may be beyond 30 years, 32 or 35 years old. But so there's a lot of designers have already done. And comparatively, that my neighbor is much younger than even I am, it's sometimes you touch a topic and you think, oh, this designer's already done it. You touch another topic and you feel that that's, so example, I have a couture show coming up, which is my biggest collection, and sometimes I'm like, whichever inspiration or discussion we are having, it seems like people have done it. So it becomes really difficult to get a inspiration, and when you get the inspiration, you've got to really speak a language which has not been spoken before, which is tough, and yet the clients are waiting for something that you always do. So that marriage at times is difficult and very stressful. But I think that everything that I have done in my life, I do it very straightforward and honestly. And this is what I believe in, this is what I'm going ahead with. And that's what I do. Because like I said, otherwise you're just a bundle of nerves, or you can get stressed out about so many things, because everybody seems to have done everything. And I stick to something, I kind of look at it my way, and I just go with it. And that is the reason that backstage I'm really nervous.
So you're basically saying that you, being a little nervous, having lots of clarity, and sticking to your idea are the 3 most important things.
Sometimes it's show time. You could be making your collection for a year otherwise. Sometimes it's done. It's good to go. It has to go.
Talking about having these amazing shows and having butterflies before you have your show. Every show that you do, you have the most amazing showstoppers. I mean, you look forward to seeing Manish's showstoppers. How do you choose every one of them? How do you keep all of them happy? I'm sure somewhere you're going to step on someone's toes.
Sometimes I become the casting director. I feel I'm like a casting director. So I've had Arjun Kapoor and Jacqueline together for the first time. They've not done a film together. Or Ranveer Singh and Alia Bhatt, they've not done a film together. Alia Bhatt and Aditya Roy Kapoor, Fawad Khan and Deepika. So I kind of like that, like or Jacqueline and Aditya Roy Kapoor and Kareena Kapoor and Kartik Aaryan. And so I just kind of like that twist. You know, I kind of like that.
Now I see it.
Yeah, some like different casting, so that's a different visual. They haven't done a film together, and I think it looks so much more interesting.
That's very interesting. Did you ever look at it that way?
I actually didn't, but all I think is that, you know, the showstoppers look amazing, and
Every single time.
Yeah, every single time. Pictures go viral. Like I said, you know, in your introduction, there was a lot of social media. You know, there was so much emphasis on that as well. And I think as a designer, you cover so many aspects, whether it's being an entrepreneur, designer, you know, somebody who's a known face. And of course, your social media is so relevant. How much time and how much importance does one need to give to that? Because every designer I know, not only you, because you're in a different league, but they really give importance to that.
Well, I think social media is a new development, and it's something that is a part of our lives, whether we like it or not like it. I mean, I enjoy it. And I also feel that it is something that is to be a part of your journey, and a very fast way of expressing what you're doing, what you're thinking, what's inspiring you, what your collection is, and what you're all about. And I mean, it's literally become this, I am so-and-so. If you want to know what I do, check my Instagram handle. So, you know, it's becoming like this, and I think that's great. You don't need to speak too much. You can just see what the other person is up to or is. So I think it's today an important part, as much as being environmentally conscious on, and, you know, not wasting paper. I keep telling my assistants that, you know, you can't do that anymore. You've got to be conscious. Taking up crafts, like we work a lot in Banaras. There's Mijwa, an NGO that I run with actor Shabana Azmi. Then there is, I do a lot of work in Kashmir. In fact, later on today, we are going to see a collection from Kashmir. So giving back to a lot of the, and helping the, you know, the artisans survive is again a very important aspect of fashion. And I think being, you know, being conscious of your environment and what you can do back for all those great workers and craftsmen that we have is also as equally important, I think, as social media is.
Absolutely. In fact, nowadays, everywhere you go, people talk about sustainable fashion and being, you know, fashion being environmentally friendly. So I think in today's day and age, it's very, very important. And I think that's a topic that you really probably need to stress with, you know, to our future, you know, fashion designers and students out there, because I think they need to know that they have to be environmentally aware and conscious.
And coming back to the showstopper, I'll tell you how that started. Actually, showstoppers, I mean, now today it's become a profession almost. But when I did my first show in 1999, it was a store that I had started with the Ashinavanti Birla called Reverie. And it was my first show. And Urmila, we had just done so many films together, including Rangila. So it was a very emotional thing for me, where all my friends were, and I asked her, listen, for the first time I'm doing a fashion show, and my first Filmfare Award I won because of Rangila. And in fact, that's how Costume Award started. And so you must walk for my show. And that's how the concept of Showstopper started. And having that celebrity lineup was because it was from the movies that they all had come to support me.
That's a good.
And that's how it just started, and it became a norm. And now it's just Showstoppers.
But talking about unconventional and, you know, casting, what do you think? Neha and me, we've never walked together. How about that? We've never
That's a good pair. What do you guys think? Let me see this.
Talk about unconventional casting. You've done that, so why don't you give, you know...
I think...
No.
So, but...
What do you think?
But I think it's already done, right? They
No,
walked
we've
for us
never,
today.
no, we've
So
never
clap for
ever
them,
walked for
guys.
Manish at this
It's all done.
competition.
You're gonna
What do you think?
You're the showstoppers tonight.
Can we like walk for you? Do you think we good for that?
They're already my showstoppers tonight. So this pair is done. This pair is done. We should have music on this.
So we thought we'd give him a new idea. He keeps talking about unconventional casting, so there it goes.
Thank you. Thank you for the music.
Thank you. We're good. We're good. I wanted to ask you something actually. There's certainly, I'm sure, in the crowd over here, you have working professionals, you have homemakers, you know, kids who are just probably getting right out of school, want to do fashion, and it's, you know, more so working professionals and homemakers, where they're probably looking for an alternate career. And maybe, fashion designing and styling is something that they have always probably, craved that they wanted to do. What do you have to tell them?
Well, like I said earlier, there's so much information out there. It's very important for you to discover yourself first, to know yourselves, and we are here to help you do that. I mean, with my conversations, with my masterclass, I just hope I can, help you discover yourself, or what you like, what you don't like, and you step in that journey. Some things happen for you, some things don't, but what's most important is that in all that noise and information, you focus on what you're meant to do. And if it doesn't work, you wake up the next day and work on it again, relentlessly and with lots of focus and attention.
That's absolutely wonderful. Manish, we've spoken a lot about the course and, your idea of fashion and design and how much work one needs to put in. There's a lot that you will be learning for all the people who will be sort of enrolling for this course. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about INIFD, and this is of course an institute with over 5 lakh graduates, with almost 25,000 students passing out of the college every year. And they're all really, really successful and doing very well. I've had a close association with INIFD, and I'm really happy, and I'd like to congratulate Aditi and everybody else who's here, that you guys have really, really grown, so congratulations on that. And then, of course, you have the London School of Trends, which has been around for almost 2 decades, and it's been spreading the knowledge of fashion very, very successfully as well. Now, when the two of them came together to you, who came up with this course? Was it you? Was it them? How did it happen?
It was London School of Trends that came to me and said that, listen, we must do this, and what do you think about it? And I've always been looking for channels to reach out to the young, reach out to students. And like I mentioned earlier, it's not possible to go to the institutes every day because of my work schedules, and I thought this was a really good way for me to speak to them. So I said, look, I'm not a teacher, but I would love to share my experiences. I would love to talk about what all I have done and teach them in my own way. And which is speaking about experiences, discussing, chatting about what all happened, what all can happen, and speak my knowledge out. And that's what I've done, honestly and straightforwardly, from my heart, spoken the knowledge that I have.
That's amazing. Well, we've spoken so much about the various aspects and the modules that will be part of the curriculum that they're going to be exposed to. It's pretty. Let me just tell you, it doesn't just end at being at a drawing board and sketching. There's a lot more to that. I mean, there's a whole business aspect behind it. Yes. So would you like to just share some
I think
light on it?
there's so much that has started today, Malaika, like I said, merchandising to the business of fashion, to it's like almost like a startup company when you start a label, and there are voices and mediums like social media to express your work or your narrative. There's so much, and you can look at it as a business. And sometimes I feel we are torn between the creative aspect and the business aspect, and what is expected out of, the people expect out of you as a brand or as a designer. And you have my stores calling me and saying, no, this is what you should do, because this is what people were asking for. So it's that balance, but then you learn to balance, and it's difficult, but you just learn. I think it's a journey. You learn, and you kind of have your up and downs, but I think most importantly is that focus.
Men's wear, women's wear. Sorry.
Well, I would do for me, you see, I would say women's wear, because I think there's so much glamour and glitz and all of that. However, I have to point that out here, that the last few years I've really enjoyed menswear as well, because the man of today is not fearing experimenting with color, hair. In fact, I think men take more time for their hair than women do. I mean, as you can see, my hair seems to be a lot more done than their hair.
I had no idea.
Men are changing.
But I have to say, I agree. As of 1 month ago. Yeah.
Men take forever.
Yes.
It's a myth that women take longer, right? Men take forever to get ready.
but also
women are actually cheering.
Yeah. No, I've been married for a month. I promise you, he takes longer to do his hair than I do.
But you know what men have?
I don't even know what it is. He looks the same though.
He has lesser hair than you.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how to tell him this. After all, Sarah's clipped to him. Just the same.
But
he does his hair
I
every
must
day.
defend men here as well. They do not have that luxury of makeup off-shoulder, glamorous, sexy clothes. I mean, you can't have a man walking without a shirt. So what he looks like
I
is what
mean,
he
we
looks
do.
like.
Why not?
He doesn't have
Why
makeup.
not? Manish,
Why
we do
not?
off-shoulder. They do topless. Of course. We're totally allowed.
But-
Absolutely fine balance.
Well, Manish, one last question before...
We throw the floor open.
Yes, absolutely, is that, and I'm going to ask this question on Malaika's behalf as well, is there a minimum sort of age that is required or a qualification that's required for this course, or is there an outer limit for this course? Is there anything like that, or is for anyone or everyone?
Look who you're
And-
speaking to. I'm 51. You think I can keep a boundary on age? No. But I think-
51! Can you believe it? This man is 51. Unbelievable.
Like, I think no. I think there's no age here. You're always a learner. You're always young as your mind and your heart. So if
There you go!
So don't feel shy. Don't be worried about age or any of that. Enroll, be part of it. Learn, experience firsthand, right?
Absolutely, it's first hand, and you don't get Manish Malhotra first hand for 10,000 rupees, even for, that's not even like your cost for 1 second.
Not for
If
3
I-
2 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, if I wanted to spend 1 second with Manish and I'd be like, I pay you 10,000 bucks, his management would be like, go away. But look what INIFD and LST have done. Huge round of
But that
applause,
was enough
guys.
for all you guys there, for all the students, and to reach out to all of you.
So, like Malaika said, Malaika, would you like to throw the floor open?
Well, I think we've spoken a lot between Neha and me to Manish. We've known him long enough, so we really have seen him over the years. You know, how he is with people, towards his work. So we've seen all of that. But if there's something you want to ask Manish, like we said in the beginning, gather your thoughts and your questions. I think now's your time, now's your moment. He's here, right in front of you. Ask him whatever
On
you
the
feel
hot seat,
like,
but-
pertaining to the course, or if there's anything else that you want to ask him. Go right
Anything,
ahead.
yeah. And we're not judging you on anything except using
I'm sure there's a mic. Is there a mic
Phones.
somewhere in the audience there? Okay, so just pass that mic around. Put your hands up, and we'll get the mic to you. Go ahead.
Hello. So I
Hi.
want to ask that you basically started the concept of styling in the fashion industry.
You have to speak up a little louder and hold the mic up. Thanks.
You basically started the concept of styling in our fashion industry. Would you like to give us some insights on that?
Well, like I mentioned earlier, I was so fascinated. I actually thought to myself that I haven't studied a course. All I can do is sketch, and I love movies. So why should this actor work with me? What is that that I can add to my work that they would want to work with me? And so I started discussing the look, like what's your hair, makeup, taking that little information that I was getting from the director on the script. So I would tell an actor, but you just did this scene, so you can't really do this. So beyond work, beyond expectation, I think in all of us, in anything that you do, when you give beyond the expectation or what is expected out of you, you will have that person coming back to you. Because very few do that. And so it was extra hours of work with no money for that, but I yet went ahead and did, and unknowingly or knowingly, I introduced styling in the industry.
Thank you.
We have a lady right there in the corner who has a question. Will you pass the mic to her, please?
Somebody give her the mic. The mic's gonna have to move. Yeah.
There.
Just stand up, yeah, so we can see you.
Oh, I thought there was somebody there.
Very glamorous, shimmery dress there. You look beautiful.
Thank you so much. I wanted to ask you, how did you choose your first tailor, and like, how did you trust him with your garments and everything?
What a good
That
question.
seems so many years ago that I have to really, oh my God, that seems really, you're making me feel very old today. But, oh my God, I don't remember actually. Honestly, I don't. But I think I remember putting up a small workshop and working with a tailor who had already done film costumes before. He was troublesome, very nice in his work, and I would bear up with him. And I remember running from tailor to tailor getting work done. And I also remember during Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge, they were supposed to be for Switzerland, and Kajol's blouses were being made. And I used to sit in those workshops, sleep there full night. Like I would tell the tailor that when the blouse is made, wake me up and show me the blouse. And then I would sit like having tea and watching. And I'm actually, what really worked for me also is a little secret that I'm not so fond of sleeping. And I'm an extremely early riser. I wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning. And so I think I would be, and whenever Taylor went to sleep, I would wake them up and say, finish the blouse. And so all of that. So I was very, till date, I'm quite into what I'm doing. I never just order and leave it. I have to know it myself.
Thank you
So
so
I
much.
think that's right.
We have two more lovely ladies there who have questions. Right there. You could stand up,
There's
actually.
1, 2, 3, the girl in the blue with a tattoo on her arm, yeah. Yes, yeah.
We have time for a few more questions before we close the show.
Hello. First of all, it's like a privilege to be here. What's
Thank you.
the prime thing that you're looking for a bride when you are designing an outfit for a bride, besides the embroidery and the blouse and the dupatta? What's the design that you put up in?
Well, every
Maybe a
bride is
secret.
different. It could be a winter wedding, summer wedding. She could be having a resort wedding. Like she said, she wanted to be like Neha wanted to be a minimal bride with pink. There's another bride who might like red. Somebody might like over the top. They want a train which is never ending. So there are different brides, there are different weddings, there are different locations. So that helps me take up that story and then work on it.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, sir. Hello, ma'am.
Hi.
Hello.
I would like to thank you, INIFD, first of all, for
I will. Honestly, my inspiration became that I have to survive, I have to manage, I have to, in the worldly ways, make it. And when I say make it, I don't mean it monetarily as much as I mean sustain, to sustain my profession. And I think I managed to do that for 28 years, and hopefully for more years to come.
Well, on that note, thank you so much for all those questions. I just, in a few lines, I think all we can say is he's a man with a passion for fashion. And of course, that fire in his belly to succeed. For me, I think that's what Manish Malhotra is all about. I think in those few words, that's what you're all about. And we're really, really happy to have you here. And I think each one of us will happily and proudly say that they feel really, really, really privileged to have you here and share so much and be so insightful. So thank you once again, Manish.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
And, I have to add to what Mala's just said, that if your inspiration is survival, and if your survival has made so many women on screen and off screen look as beautiful as they do, keep surviving for our sake, Manish, really do. And I know you will.
Neha and Malaika are my friends, and they're also two iconic girls in terms of their style. They both have individual styles. There's super glamour here, and there's glamour in their own way. She loves ivory and black, and I constantly tell her wear some color. And of course, Malaika is.
I just wear whatever you give me. I make no fuss about
Thank you, everyone, and thank you, girls.
Thank you.
Before we do head out, we're going to have a photo op over here.
Yes. Absolutely.
So the last chapter tonight, that's what we're going to do. I have this beautiful film on Kashmir, which is my inspirational film. And before we sign off this evening, I have a little bit for all of you all. I have my favorite models on stage, showing a part of my collection, which was inspired from Kashmir and by Kashmir, and with all that craft that I get from Kashmir, and all the embroidery is from Kashmir. And what I wanted to discuss and show you all is how an inspiration becomes a collection, and that collection which keeps the ethos of your brand and your label and your belief.
You know,
so that's what we're going to do today, later on.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm not going to come in the way of the actual masterclass and his gorgeous models and the amazing designs and the film that you are going to see. But before I go, I have a question or two for you. Yes, more. I mean, that was one chapter of our conversation. The next chapter of our conversation is now we're talking to you as though you're showcasing your collection. Now, this is the first question I asked you. Where does the inspiration come from? More specifically, as far as this collection goes.
My travel to Kashmir.
So how many years ago did you travel, and at what point did you say that I'm going to make this magnum opus of a collection which has been a sellout all over the globe? How did that come across, Manish?
Well, I have to thank director Imtiaz Ali for this, because I went there for a film called Rockstar, and I just loved Kashmir. I mean, all those memories of all those 70s films that I'd seen, the songs and all of it. But I loved the embroidery, I loved the work, I loved the colors. And I bought a lot of fabrics to make a collection for the film. And he told me that you're loving it so much, why don't you take all these fabrics back and make a collection? And I came and did that. This was about 6 years ago, I think. And that's when my whole affair with all the embroidery and color of Kashmir started. And it's been 6 long years. It's a very important part of my label. And we do a lot of work from Kashmir, and that's what it is.
So you also use craftsmen and artisans from Kashmir?
That's right.
And as far as your embroideries and all of that is concerned, do you send them back, or have you made sure that you come? Oh, hi. What's your name?
Sabha Shabnam.
Hi, Sabha. Welcome on stage. That's Manish, of course. And do you know anything about Manish's Kashmir collection?
Actually, I have done my show in London, and my theme was Kashmir. I'm basically from Kashmir. So, Srinagar. Yeah. So even I have worked with embroideries and all. So yeah, it's quite different, and it's quite difficult for me to work there, because when I was there in Kashmir, the Burhanwani case were going on. As you said that, it was very difficult for you, like you were there up masters ke yahan so jate the, and you used to work like that. So the same thing happened with me. So at night I used to work right around 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock because Hartal was going on. It's quite difficult to work in Kashmir. But yeah, I feel really proud when you said the Kashmir collections there.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Very enterprising of you to have walked up on stage. Thank you very much. Please go and have a seat. Well, without any further delay, the first thing I'm going to do is say goodbye to each and every one of you. It's been absolutely wonderful to be in conversation with each and every one of you, and also most importantly, make sure that you get to know my lovely friend and ace designer Manish Malhotra better. And before I take your leave, Manish, and leave the room open and the stage open for your masterclass, should we take a look at his wonderful AV? Should we take a look at it?
I think we should.
Okay.
But Neha, you've been fantastic.
Thank you.
You are fabulous. You speak so well, and I mean, you're just fabulous.
Thank you. And the one thing that I'm going to learn is focus and wear more color.
Wear more color.
Absolutely. I'm taking that tip back home. Thank you, Manish. Have a good one and good luck. Stay focused, guys. Use that phone as much as you want to while doing the course. All right. And congratulations to INIFD and to LSD all over again. Thank you. Thank you. Can we have the AD, please?
AD के चक्कर में कर दी लिए
We'll be right back.
years of working with Kashmir and Kashmir artisans and doing different work from tilla zari to thread work to all the Sozli work and all this beautiful work. However, this collection is a slightly more glamorized collection. We just had a show recently, and as you see, it's got all the global trends in it. I love the fact of mixing global trends into collections. And so you see feathers, you see fringes, you see pearls, you see the glamour and glitz, which is a part of my label. And like I mentioned earlier, every designer aspires and inspires differently, like every person does. And my brand and my like is a lot more towards the glitz and the glamour aspect of it, keeping the craft in mind. And most importantly, paying homage to the crafts of India in the way that I see it. It's so important for all of us as designers to speak our language. Others will be inspired by so many things that exist, and different designers are inspired by it. But it's so important to keep our language. This collection, which has motifs on the men's jackets, you see a sherwani and a longer kurta silhouette, to a blazer with a kurta shirt, to a more modern stripe collection, which is something that I tried recently. I actually never do suits. I've never done blazers. I've always made bangalas and sherwanis for men, but this is something that I just started last season at Fashion Week, last August, so it's been going to be a year. And I love the silhouette, which is more modern, but yet very inspired and traditional and very young. So you could wear this sherwani at a cocktail. It's taking the colors that you see in the flowers of Kashmir, which is pink. You have stripes here. You have the tweedish trouser, and of course my favorite, the glitz, the glamour. And you see all the Kashmiri thread work. You see pearls. You see sequins. You see a lot of feathers. And I have to say, internationally this year, as you must have been seeing in all the international brands, that sequence and the glamour and glitz is back in a huge way. Like I mentioned, I love Indian clothes. My label is all about Indian clothes, but I love to mix it with glamour. So that's me, and that's the look. Thank you. Do we have any question? You all are happy with what you see? So thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you, models. Thank you for always being there with me and always working with me. We've traveled the world with our shows, and thank you so much for being here today with me as well. Thank you. And INIFD over here. Why am I not being taken to London? I'm just giving tickets after tickets to London. Huh? So I think after this entire evening, don't you think I deserve to go to London as well? Thank you everyone. Thank you. Good day. Bye. Good evening.